Hi guys, and welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You're very much welcome. So, are you guys surprised that Jlo has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck, making this her fourth divorce in total? I'm not. I saw it coming. I legit predicted this when last year? I don't know. I predicted it the moment they announced that they were getting married. I was like, okay. How long is it going to take before the divorce? 6 months? 1 year? I don't know, but it's going to happen. So I decided to talk about it and share my views about it with you. So let's do just that. According to TMZ, Jennifer Lopez has done what seemed inevitable. She's filed for divorce from Ben Affleck. But there are major twists, including the symbolism of when she finally decided to do it. Jlo filed legal docs Tuesday in LA County Superior Court, but they were not filed by a lawyer. Jennifer filed pro per, meaning by herself and without an attorney. She lists the date of separation as April 26, 2024. The couple got married in Las Vegas on July 16, 2022. So guys, a lot of times you hear people say, I'm looking for a partner, or I want to start a family, I want to get married, things like that. But are you actually ready to receive it if it comes your way? Is another question. Have you healed from the childhood traumas that is still affecting you and the way you relate to other people? Have you dropped possible unrealistic expectations you have of what a marriage should be like? I ask this because we have heard many times in interviews and documentaries, Jlo describe love as this fairy tale kind of feeling, and she talks about finding love and the greatest love that has ever been. I don't even know what the name of that documentary was, but something like that. And it's like, and the moment I hear all of those things, like what I can absolutely tell from that is you have an unhealthy idea of love. You have created a fairy tale belief, and then you expect the men that come into your life to live up to that fairy tale love you have created in your head, and then when they don't, you get disappointed. But it's impossible to meet such expectations. Legit impossible. Like, how are you going to do that? Something that does not exist. This is not unique to Jlo. She's a famous person, so obviously we're going to talk about her because she's famous, and so the story is everywhere, right? But in reality, like, you guys know how I always like to relate things to real life and how they affect us everyday human beings. Instead of talking about wanting to find someone, I really wish we could all learn how to make use of the time in between when we're deciding that we want to get into a serious relationship and when we actually do, to prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. Do the work. Do the work to become the best version of yourself, so that when you do get into a relationship, you don't lose out on it because of your own issues that you didn't deal with. Relationships are often mirrors, like they mirror your deepest insecurities, among other things. So when you go into them so unhealed, oh boy, it's rough. It's really rough. And again, there's no perfect relationship. We know that. That's like, again, an unrealistic expectation. But you can go into something with a good perspective, with a healed version of you, hopefully meet a healed version of whoever you do meet, And together you can make it work. Together you can build something beautiful. Even if it's not perfect, but it's beautiful. You know what I mean? So like, that's definitely the first thing that came to my mind. When I saw it, I was like, how many times? First, second, third, fourth. By the second time, that's when you should know, okay, there's something going on here. That's when you should know it's not them, it's me. By the fourth time, you should have already figured it out. Like, not only do you know, but you have now done the work. There's a time I heard her say something like, again, in one of the interviews, where she was like, oh, the problem is I don't like when they stop trying. Girl, it's not going to be roses and balloons every day. Like, come on. It can't. That's, again, but what I'm talking about when we talk about like this fairy tale idea of love. Of course, at the beginning, it's always, you know, it's more rosy. After some time, the real deal starts. So what? You're going to leave the marriage every time the marriage gets tough? One of the things we heard as the reasons for the divorce is that her lifestyle didn't match his and wasn't good for his sobriety. When I saw it, I was like, okay, did you not talk about it before saying I do? Did you not agree on what your lifestyle would be like? Did you not see that he was struggling and he was allegedly trying to like come out from this whole from the addiction or whatever it is, and everything is alleged? Did you not see that? How on earth did you expect to keep on living the lifestyle which you have and have the marriage work? Were you too busy putting together a documentary talking about some fairy tale love that does not exist, that you did not even bother to sit down and have the real hard conversations with your partner? Now, whose fault is that? I'm not trying to be mean or judgmental. I always try to learn from every situation. The ones that happen to me, the ones that happen to people that I know, the ones that happen to people that I don't know. And so for me, when I saw it, I was like, this goes back to my point. Do the work. If you need to work on certain things, like maybe like unresolved trauma, things like that, go into therapy. Find yourself a really good therapist. Process those traumas. Process those unhealthy habits that you have in your life. Process the things that need to be processed and come out of it better. When you are seeking for your significant other, don't just seek, be in a position that you're ready to receive it. And then what exactly are you seeking for? Are you seeking for someone who will actually fit into who you are? And what I mean fit is like that will match who you are, what you want, what you don't want. You guys are like on the same page? Or are you looking for someone who you dream about after watching some romantic series on Netflix? I will not be surprised if this idea of love, and again, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not diagnosing anything, plus I don't know her, but I wouldn't be surprised if this her unrealistic idea of love that she has comes from something that she feels she missed out on when she was younger. Because this seems to me like trying to seek a love that you felt you didn't get. And I'm not saying that she didn't get love from her parents, but what I'm just saying is like, it seems like something that is related to childhood. And I would not be surprised if that's the case. But if that is the case, that's more of a reason why you want to really process that over time. It takes time. To process and heal trauma takes time. I actually have an episode coming out soon about anxiety and depression, but then I'm also going to be recording more episodes on mental health. One of them is actually going to be about trauma, because trauma, guys, it shapes so many things that we do. and so many things that we feel, and so many things that the way we react to things, the way we process things, the way it really does shape that. And that age as a child, like from when you're born to like 8 years old, almost anything can traumatize you. You're so easy to traumatize. So sometimes it's not something big, because I hear people like sometimes when they hear trauma, they're thinking some major thing having happened to someone. But it could be something as small as you never felt like your dad really showed love towards you. Maybe you felt he was always like a rigid figure or something like that. Something like that alone is enough to create some sort of trauma in that child that then will creep back in that person's adult life, and they'll find themselves seeking for that love that they feel like they didn't get from people who have nothing to do with that trauma. And then they seek for it in a way that does not exist, and then find themselves in this unhealthy cycle of constantly getting into relationships, not finding the love you're looking for, getting out, getting back in, making the same mistake. If you get what I mean. Hollywood marriages have a very high divorce rate. That's not surprising. So I really hope that we don't idolize them. I hope that when we are thinking about marriage and what we're trying to achieve in our lives in that regard, that we do not look at these make-believe marriages by the Hollywood stars and be like, oh, that's what we're trying to emulate. Because guys, that would be a recipe for failure. Instead, what we should do is look within ourselves, do the work that needs to be done, heal from the things we need to heal from, get to know ourselves for real, not who the world told us we are, but who we actually are, and then meet someone that fits into that. And by so doing, you don't bleed on people that didn't cut you. Instead, you bring the best version of yourself, and you receive the best version of someone else's self. And therefore, you create something magical and beautiful. So guys, as usual, don't leave me here to be talking to myself. Go to the comment section. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, share, all of the above. And as you're doing that, I wish you nothing but love, light, and peace. Thank you so much, guys.